are you to doubt El Dandy?
This is Robbie Eagles.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
Hi, this is Mimic. This is 5-time the world's heavyweight champion, the Scrap Daddy himself, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce.
This is Brian Alvarez, and you are listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Welcome to the show, folks. My name is Josh Armour, and thanks very much for downloading Wrestle Radio Australia. This is our first episode.
Oh, yeah!
G'day, this is Big Brady Marshall.
This is Brian Alvarez.
This is Dean Brady of the Millennials.
This is Jurassic Punk Sid Parker.
How many of you guys have heard the term kayfabe?
Hello, doggers. This is Jay Hunter from OSW Review.
This is Matt Grim Basso.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
This is Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, and you are locked in
to Wrestle Radio Australia.
I in the game, I'm champion, I'm Triple H, Undertaker, I'm your maker, bury the brother like Kane. Ooh, 1-3, hit the tombstone, hit the choke slam on face. Ooh, yeah, like a macho heel, turn like a muscle. If you suffer like tomatoes, I'ma keep a couple models. Ooh, and you may call me HBK. When I'm tuning up the vein, you best be getting in my way. Ooh, yeah, I'm degenerate, I love it, yes, I love it. If you ain't down with that, then I got two is what you suck it. Too sweet, put your fangs up. Too sweet, holding up the drug. Let's be busy 23, got me feeling way too sweet.
I was trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. But a square peg in a round hole just never seems to fit. And you
This is Bianca Belair.
Hey, this is Kevin Owens.
Hey, it's Seth freaking Rollins.
It is the man, Becky Lynch.
It's Rhea Ripley here, and you're listening to Wrestle.
Hello and welcome to Making Chicken Salad, the Wrestle Radio Australia show where we talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling. My name is Lachlan Albert, and I am joined by a man who is relentless, Todd Eastman. Todd, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, my friend. Holy shit, it's all of us.
Yeah.
All three of us in one meeting. Whoa.
Yeah, I'm out.
That's exactly right. I'm also joined by the man who's always ready to rumble, Jeff Setti. Jeff, it's good to see you, brother.
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm quite ready to rumble. How about yourself? How are you, Lachlan?
I'm doing the best I can with what I've got, as usual. And look, if you are here, that means the world to us. Make sure you are ready to get into the conversation by joining us at twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio Australia, where we're live here every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And we got some stuff on the docket today because there's been, I should say there will be, a whole bunch of stuff going on in Australian wrestling coming up that we need to talk about. There's a whole load of stuff going on over in the US that we need to talk about. But also, we are going to talk about an Aussie show that is, once again, free on YouTube. It's the Mayhem Pro Relentless Rumble 3. So you can just search for that on YouTube, catch it there. The full show from very recently being up for free, a 2.5-hour show on YouTube for free. Absolutely magnificent. The same way that we're here at Wrestle Radio Australia on YouTube for free, on Facebook for free, on Twitch for free. So make sure you chuck us a follow so you can get ready for what we're about to talk about on each show. And boys, let's kick off talking about the Mayhem Pro Relentless Rumble, starting off with Ant Cava versus Broderick Valentine. I wasn't personally super familiar with Broderick Valentine, and Ant Cava, the much more familiar face, getting the win here with that master lock submission. Jeff, what did you think of? Yeah, I'm sorry. What did you think of this one as an opener?
I like this one a lot. It had a very clear face and heel dynamic. I think Mayhem Pro appealed to a very family demographic, and this played out in this match. Cava, or they're such polar opposites in terms of character and also physically. I really, really like this match. I thought it was a nice, fun opener. I mean, remembering this is not all going to be the cleanest wrestling because a lot of these people are quite new. But I enjoyed that. I thought that was a fun match.
Absolutely, Todd.
Yeah, I think I've heard of Broderick Valentine before, and I've seen like photos of him. It looked like he's put on a bit of size, which was good because it didn't look like it was like he was so outmatched by Cover, like because he had a bit of beef to him. So it was a nice little back and forth, and yeah, like the right guy won because that's like that Cover is like the guy that they're sort of building up as a mid card. Big guy, big heel, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, the right guy won in this one. And it was a nice little showcase for Broderick for, I think it was his first time on a Mayhem show. So, yeah, good.
Broderick's been around.
Awesome stuff. And I think, like...
He's been around for a bit, just to allay both of your questions. But it's good. And, he's good to see.
Absolutely. I really like Kava as a heel. I think he's got the look. He's got the mannerisms to make a really good jerk face that knows how good he is. I really like that role for him. Moving on there, Erica Reed coming up against Joseph, the former Jahari, a member of the prehistoric death cult. This is all to do with the Circle. Jab, the heavyweight champion in this promotion, has his little cult, I guess you would say, his followers, and he has recruited the former Jahari from the prehistoric death cult to become Joseph as part of the Circle, as well as having recruited the former Sid Parker, making him go by his first name Aaron, and get rid of all the face paint and such. Erica Reed getting a surprise quick victory in this one. But really the meat of this wasn't the Jahari match. It was the promo with Jab and Erica, which seems to be building as a big story here for Mayhem Pro. Todd, how did you feel about this interaction?
This is where, like, although I like the show, this is where they need... And I keep stressing this, and I know it's a problem that I have at Wide Base, is working out how to do it. They need commentary on these shows. When you're doing big storylines like this, and big sort of like intricate, this guy turned on her, and they used to be a tag team. And when you've got all of that going on, you kind of need someone like as a narrator telling you, like if you're like us, that we don't get to go to see shows every week or every like live shows, and we're just catching it every couple of months when it pops up on YouTube. You need that person to fill in the gap, like you do, Lachlan, on like Pro League shows. When you need that person to fill in the gap, that's what the commentary's for. So, like, I loved it. I love the promo from Jab. Like, I watched that promo, and like I messaged people in Melbourne going, you need to look at this guy. This is someone you need to look at because he is a good work. He's a good, like, he can tell the story without actually having to have physicality, if that makes sense. So, and not to mention the fact that he looks good, he's a good worker. Like, all of that is part and parcel of just a little bit. But the hardest thing to get down a lot of the time is that promo and that believability in a promo, and he has that. That was because I think he talked for maybe 3-4 minutes straight, and everything was cogent, everything made sense, everything had a point to it. And yeah, I loved it. Like I said, it made me message people in Melbourne and said, hey, look at this guy. I don't know if you've heard of him, but look at him.
I was going to say, even if JXT had done the commentary afterwards, even if he'd said... laid down a commentary track afterwards as himself, as JXT. Hi, I'm looking back on what was going on. Just gave us a bit more information. The promo at the beginning was good. It did give us, it gave us enough to go on with. But it's the color, and it's giving the storyline an extra dimension and making it really pop that little bit more and making it stick in your mind. And I think that would have really helped. I agree with you, Todd.
Yeah, they've got Hero there, and they've got what's her name? She wasn't there that night, but she's there on the other shows.
Sally.
They got those who could do commentary, and they'd be fine.
Sally's, she's solid. You always see Sally at shows in Melbourne. She's helping out everywhere. She's the best.
Yeah. So I think that those two would be fine in doing it because they're at the shows, they watch the shows, they know the story that's going on. They can explain that story. That's really half the time all you need.
Yeah,
but I loved it. Like I said, I absolutely loved it to the point where I was messaging people to say, "Hey, this dude, look at him."
Yeah, I actually like the match as well. I think the match served a purpose in leading into the promo. So, Nick's saying things like it's the best storyline in Melbourne. There's effort going into narrative and giving leads that really could go anywhere. Hearing that is really, really pleasing. And that's why I think the match was important. I think what we're seeing is people are watching the Wyatt family storyline, not the Wyatt family, the Bloodline storyline, and getting inspired by it. Sorry, Jab reminds me, he's got that little Bray Wyatt touch to him. But, people are watching the Bloodline and they're beginning to go, this is inspiring. Let's do a longer-term storyline.
But, I could easily see someone like Jab going into, MCW and targeting Dusk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quite easily.
Perfect.
I would have, and this is not discounting how good Mick Moretti is as a wrestler. You could have put Jab in that role. And it would have made a lot more sense, I think. He would have been able to tell that story a lot more cogently.
Yeah.
Without the fucking clowns. Anyway.
That one big
you tell
giant
how I
mystery
feel
clown.
about clowns?
The one big giant mystery clown that was never seen again.
It makes me so angry. I loved this promo.
It's me all along, Austin.
It was Jeff. I really enjoyed this promo. I thought
I've seen you, Jeff. You would have had to have you on your own shoulders to be that clown.
I do think the match enhanced the promo, which is what it was there for. And
yes,
I think that they made the right choice with giving Erica a little bit of time on the microphone, but not a lot of time on the microphone, because Erica's passion and energy comes through very quickly. And Jab was just totally in control of this. And especially the way he was able to take the what chance and just pull the energy out of them.
Shut them.
Yep. Close them down. And then for the few people who wanted to keep him going, mixing up his timing so that they would try and get it in and then he would talk right over them. And then he would stop talking, but they wouldn't do it because they weren't ready for it. So he just had the crowd in the palm of his hand, even when they were against him. I was super impressed by it. And I think that obviously this is a big storyline for Mayhem, and there's going to be a lot more about it as we go through the show. But, this is the thing. This promo here made me go, it's worth the energy they're putting into this storyline because Jab's got it,
And really, all a wrestling company is in 2025. All a wrestling company needs to do to really suck you in is provide a good storyline, and this is one. I personally am now going, maybe I'll see what date they come back next year and make the trip out.
Yeah.
Speak to JXT, and hopefully he can throw me on the door, and I can just watch the show because I think it'd be great. And as Nick has said, aside from Sid, everyone in the cycle are all students and new to wrestling. They're doing their jobs really well. They're doing their jobs very well.
And it seems like a threat because Jab seems like a threat, and he's got the title and they've got the numbers and they're getting in people's heads. And I'm really enjoying the storyline. To take into one of the couple of matches that didn't involve this storyline in the show, a 4-way tag team match with Happy Gas, Team Relentless, The Physicals, and High Country. Very notable because of the fact that this is leading into Mayhem unveiling their new tag team titles, or was led into by that, I should say. And there's going to be tag team champs sooner rather than later. Team Relentless getting that cheeky roll up off a low blow while the ref was distracted. when you've got a big 4-way tag match like this, you've got 8 men in there, it's flying all around, it's always going to be a bit chaotic. And I think that that's the kind of ending you come to expect in this situation. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Jeff, do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I think that if these 4 young teams are an indication of what Relentless is going to bring up in terms of tag teams, we're in great shape. I was really impressed with High Country, and I thought Happy Gas were great. So, you know, we're in reasonably good shape here. I enjoyed the match. It was exactly what you would expect. So it's basically what's written on the tin. And I thought the chemistry between the 8 participants was really good. There were a lot of nice spots. There was a lot of action going on. And I was really, really impressed with it.
Yeah, Jeff, Todd?
I am a massive fan of the physicals. I absolutely love them. I just think Rock and Roll Express. Every time I see them come out, I just think this is the Rock and Rolls. There's Ricky, there's Rob. Like get this team going. This is a great and they were by far the most over team in that match. When they came through that curtain,
baby faces.
Yeah, that crowd just lost it for him, which is and that's hard nowadays for a babyface team to get over. Like babyfaces in general, it's hard to get over as a babyface because it's hard to get someone genuinely behind you because everyone likes the bad guy nowadays. So for you to be a good guy and have that crowd get behind you like that, that is something. And those two just have it. They look like the prototypical, because that's what the gimmick is too, prototypical 1980s, early 90s babyface tag team. And I loved it. I'm all in for the physicals. Absolutely love them.
They were good.
Yeah, absolutely. Right there with you. After this, leading into a big Lockie Hendricks versus Funtime Phil hardcore match, we had a Mick Foley style promo where Funtime Phil sat down with Big Rig and talked out the fact that it wouldn't be Big Rig in this hardcore match. It was going to be Phil.
Actually, I'm going to correct you. It's actually Fox. The Phil's alter ego is Fox. Is Big Fox, and I just wanted to correct you on that, so we didn't get hundreds of comments. And
yes, that would have been my fault. I wrote it like that.
Phil and
no, that's fine. That's fine. But, I should have changed it.
But I like the use of this promo to make the Funtime Phil character important and a serious wrestler and not just the goofy guy with the bag of chips. And I like that led into a hardcore match that embraced the character of Funtime Phil with a lot of blood and a lot of toys and just a lot of stuff, with eventually Lockie Hendricks trying to use a bag of original Smith's chips as a weapon, and then Phil grabbing a Smith's chips bag that was full of, was it thumbtacks or broken glass or
I think
actual weapon of some description?
From memory, it was thumbtacks, I think, from memory.
I think it was thumbtacks.
Apologies.
Another spot where I went, man, I really wish we had commentary right now because I can see that that's shiny and it's not chips. I would like to know what it is. And that's the nature of, YouTube sometimes.
Nick says thumbtacks. So
Nick
yes, thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
So, what did we think of, and I'll start with Todd here, both the Foley-style promo and the hardcore match between Phil and Lockie?
First off, I fucking love that promo. I think that is, and I kept going, that's a really hard promo to pull off. That's a really hard promo to sit across from no one and do your part and then know that you're going to have to do the other part, contradicting it in the other character as well. That is a hard, it's not easy at the best of times to do promos. It's hard to do a promo when you're essentially having a conversation with yourself and you're only filming one half of the conversation at a time. So, and for him to do that and make everything believable and make those two characters look distinctly different, even though they basically addressed the same, just in his mannerisms and the way he carried himself. Even the way he talked was different from Fox to Phil. And to get over the story of it, like, yeah, okay, cool, you've beaten him, and you think that it's what was it? Like, Fox was just like, you're a bad reflection on me when you can't beat him. It's like, just let me do it. And for him to go, no, I need to stand up to him by myself. And you're like, in your head, you're like, yeah, you do. But then you go, no, it's the same fucking guy. What am I doing here? You're still staying. So, like, it had me, after watching that, had me going, yeah, I really want Phil to win this match.
Yep.
So, and like the match
I'm glad
was
it's
what it was.
Phil in this match and not Fox.
Yeah. And I'm glad they didn't go with something where like Phil got knocked out, gets knocked out of the ring, and he goes under the ring, then comes back out dressed as Fox. Yeah. I'm glad they didn't do that either.
I like that this was Phil. It was very much a Phil match, but there were elements of Fox in there. So he wrestled that well, because I've seen both of them a fair bit. And Fox is a lot more violent. Fox is a lot more focused. And Fox is a lot more serious. And we saw that from Phil. So we saw Phil with elements of Fox, which plays off the promo. It's really good. That's next level thinking. And again, well done if it's Fox himself or JXT or some of the other crew there or some of the kids themselves. That's just really good booking. I really like this. Yeah. And I like the match that followed. I'm not huge into hardcore, but this used the hardcore style and the anything goes style really, really well and really, really successfully. Lockie is a brave man to come out wearing that and take that many bumps and stuff, and literally cut himself to shit. I still remember when he did the hardcore match with Crackers that many years ago, and he was a bit more covered up. And this, there were similar kinds of bumps and similar stuff going on. So well done to Lockie. I think that was a great effort from him. It wasn't just
literally the only thing I didn't like about this match was the fans.
Yeah.
And I get it. They like doing the Lover Boy son and all that, but this isn't him anymore. That's it's moved on. Let it go, guys.
I think that in Renegades, he's taken a lot more as the aspirationalist.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was it was a good match, and he played the perfect foil to.
Nick Galea coming in the chat saying Lockie is my fave wrestler in the country, mate. Yeah, you haven't even seen me in the ring yet. Oh, Lockie Hendricks, great call there, mate. It's really hard to be negative about anything Lockie Hendricks does. He always just delivers. And we're going to see that again later in this show as well. But before that, there's another match which leads into this big overarching storyline where Aaron, the former Sid Parker, took on JXT with Jab on the outside in a big back and forth battle that I didn't check, but might have been the longest match on the show, even with a Rumble in there. This one really went through the paces, and eventually JXT got the submission but refused to break it, and the referee reversed the decision to be in favor of Aaron there. As a finish, it was then interesting because you have Erica Reed coming out demanding that, JXT stop because this isn't him. Really interesting choices to have this moving forward, because you can see that JXT is blinded by rage towards Jab in a way that he is starting to lose himself and maybe become another obstacle in the way of the character that seems like the true hero of the story, which is Erica Reed. That's something that I really like, and it's a way to keep all of these elements involved in the big storyline without it just being, oh, Jab's got everyone and they're all against Erica. Or have it be like, oh, it's Jab's side versus Erica and JXT. It's not. It's a little bit more complicated than that, and I really appreciate that. In terms of ring work, JXT could wrestle a broom. We all know that. I really like seeing the way that Aaron, not in the Sid Parker makeup, wrestled differently. And he showed that he is someone who's been around the block a couple of times, had 1 or 2 matches, knows what he's doing, and is able to deliver in that way. You know what I mean? So I really enjoyed this. I wonder if it had to go as long as it did to get the messages across that it got across. But I enjoyed what they did in the ring. Jeff?
I like this a lot. I mean, Sid Parker or Aaron is always going to bring something exciting. Like, he's a watchable wrestler in whatever gimmick he's in. I really like this. I like that Aaron's style has changed a little bit. He's not quite as flippy as normal. He's not doing a lot of those signature Sid moves, and instead being a bit sort of grittier, a bit affected by Jab's influence. I think one thing I do want to say this, and this is not a knock on Sid's gimmick of Sid Parker, but it is so nice to see him do something that is the complete antithesis of the Sid character. I'm really happy to see this for the man himself as much as anything else, to, you know, stretch him and see the kind of fun he can have with it. And JXT, as you say, JXT is so good. He's able to do it all, and I really enjoyed the match.
Yeah, Todd?
Oh man, you boys are gonna hate me. I didn't like it. I just didn't. I just thought it missed. I thought that and like, I don't know why, because they're both, like you've said, they're both really good workers. For me, it just didn't mesh. It felt clunky for me, and I also I get the whole like hang on to the sharpshooter and blah blah blah, and like being the angry, like almost the heel sort of thing in the end of it. But I don't think, like, I think Erica needs at least one person on her side, and it feels like that person's not going to be there. Like, it's not going to be. You need more than one baby face in the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And it just feels. I don't know. It felt like you didn't need to do that.
Yeah, but Todd.
Yes.
Last year, the year before, when Jarvis beat Delta and took the belt, how many people were going, "Oh, you didn't need to do that," and we were going, "Let's play it out and see where it goes. What's the story?"
I know. Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, for like, the match itself for me didn't click. I wasn't really like.
No. It was just the stuff about JXT running off.
Yeah.
But
it's more than like, because then like suspended him indefinitely after that as well. So it was like, he's gone anyway. So I don't know why you would do that extra stuff before that. You know what I mean? Like, you could have really just have like Aaron steal that win and have JXT like somehow lose his shit and strike the ref after that, and then get suspended, which would feed into what happened later on in that show more.
Yeah.
Again, it's just choices.
Especially because you already had in the match moments where, for example, Jab's distracting the referee and Aaron gets a low blow in, right?
Yeah.
Just have it end there and have JXT be furious about that.
Yeah. Like, I get what they're doing. I get like, it was more the fact that I felt like there are certain people that doesn't matter how good they both are. Sometimes when they get in the ring together, it just, for some reason or another, just doesn't click. And I felt that, like, I found myself going on my phone during the match. And for a lot of the show, I didn't do that.
Yeah, what I will say about it is that it definitely felt like, here is Aaron's bits and here is JXT's bits, where they're in control. And it didn't really feel like the two of them both showing off their best. It felt like them taking turns of being in control of the match, which I didn't hate. I liked seeing the way that their styles were equal and opposite in different ways. But I do think that for such a long match, maybe the exact chemistry wasn't as much as you would want it to be. But look, I'm a bit of an unapologetic Sid Parker fan, and seeing Aaron as this other character was something I really, really enjoyed, and that got me on board for this whole match.
Oh, I'm completely happy to like admit that if you guys loved it, then it's just me.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was just like it was the one. Really, honestly, the one match on the card where I started looking at my phone and started doing other things during the match.
I can see where you're coming from, but it's not where I'm at with this match. I enjoyed it.
Which is fair.
Again, this is another one where commentary would have really, really enhanced the longer match. Yeah. And it tells me that JXT and the crew probably planned to have commentary on it, but for whatever reason it fell through or something happened. You know.
Yeah. And moving into the main event, the place where I think commentary would have made the biggest difference is the Relentless Rumble, right?
Yeah.
You've got 20 entrants. If you're not someone who's keeping up with this product regularly, especially considering how many of these guys are from the Relentless School of Pro Wrestling, which, by the way, if you're in Victoria and want to learn pro wrestling, there's a great place to do it, right? Because these are so much younger talent in general, if you're not regularly at the show, commentary is the only thing you've got really helping you connect with the characters. So having, 12, 13 people you aren't familiar with enter the match makes it that little bit harder. But classic Rumble stuff going on here. The big draw card with the finishing sequence is in the ring is you've got Aaron, you've got Lockie Hendricks, and you've got Erica Reed. The 20th and final entrant has their music play. It's JXT's music. That cuts to Jab's music. Jab comes out as the 20th entrant. You have Aaron and Jab both coming after Erica Reed when from behind JXT shows up and eliminates them both, starts brawling on the outside. JXT has all the referees and such trying to take him out of the building, and Erica eliminates Lockie Hendricks while that is happening. Lockie gets back in the ring before the referees notice while Erica's celebrating, eliminates her, and so the refs see it. Lockie Hendricks declared the winner of the Relentless Rumble.
Classic
Jeff,
Rumble.
what did you think of the finish to this show?
The absolute ending was fantastic. It does make sense. JXT can do the whole, I'm just a guy. I happen to be around. No one was stopping me. He can do the whole, I'm suspended. I like that. I really, really like the Erica Lockie thing. My slight concern is they might pivot Erica while the storyline goes on, and I think she's integral to it. So while this overarching storyline goes on, she might now pivot and fight Lockie. But I prefer she sticks with the circle stuff because it's very interesting. But I like this. I actually really quite enjoyed the Rumble. The Musketeer stood out to me again. He's really doing some great work.
They've got some monsters coming up, like some really big dudes coming up in that school.
Yeah,
like what was his name? Ben Barrett.
Ben Barrett. Yeah, he was big too. He was a unit. I really liked the whole Rumble. I thought it was great. But again, commentary would have helped because you would have known names and you would have been able to follow the Rumble a bit easier.
But there was that guy too that the guy that suplexed Ali, which is not a easy feat.
No.
I can't remember what his name was. Yeah, it eludes me at the moment, but he impressed me as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of great young talent there, and I like. Yeah, sorry. And a lot of them were showcased well in the Rumble itself.
Yeah, like there are like 4 people in, like, aside from you, like, established guys like your Lockies, your JXTs, your Phils, your bloody Ericas. There are 4 people on those shows that when I'm watching those shows, they're the people that I want to see because, like, I dig what they do. Like Nate Hunter, that spot Nate Hunter did, perfect Kreese Kimmick. Perfect Kreese Kimmick. I like Nate Hunter. Nate Hunter is someone that if I was running a Fed in Melbourne, I'd be featuring him in that Fed quite easily because great worker, knows how to talk, knows how to work a crowd, which is important. I liked him. I also, of course, talked about him before, the physicals. I think they're great. And Jab's someone who I think should be everywhere as well, because I think he's just brilliant.
I also want to note that Ali has been around for a lot of years. He was part of MCW in a tag team with Big Jake Andrew Arthur. So, Ali put on a great show in that Rumble, but you would expect nothing less. And I thought he was very good for a man.
The thing, I don't know what Ali is though, because he was a babyface at one point in that Rumble, then he was a heel at one point in that Rumble, and then he was
that
you know
was
what I mean. It was just like I was a bit confused. The one thing I really did like is they didn't let Aaron and Erica touch.
No.
Yeah.
They got really close, and then everyone else jumped them and pulled them away. I was like, good. Thank you.
And there was another moment where, it was the three of them in the ring with the two of them and Lockie, and Erica went towards Aaron and then changed her mind and went towards Lockie. And it's
there was also that spot.
About what that looked like.
There was also that spot where Aaron was lying in the ring, sort of like posing the way Sid used to.
Yeah.
And they had that little stare off where she just like froze. Because I think like instinctually she went to do what she would normally do. So, no. That little nuances, really, really good.
Yeah, it was a great finishing, like 4, 5 people. Really put it on well.
Absolutely.
The one good thing, like speaking behind the curtains sort of thing, the good thing about Rumbles is that you get guys that are not normally ready to be on shows, that little bit of experience. So you got to see a couple of guys go out there and just get their first taste of, okay, this is what pro wrestling is. This is what an actual match is. I'm not in the gym doing my rolls and back bumps and all of that. This is what it's like being in front of a crowd. And that's cool to see. It's cool to see those people get those experiences for the first time.
Absolutely. And so, I'm encouraging people, if you want to check out what the cycle is doing, what this storyline looks like with Erica Reed, with Aaron / Sid Parker, with JXT, with Lockie Hendricks and where that's going, this promo with the Funtime Phil Fox dynamic, it's free on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search for Mayhem Pro Relentless Rumble 3. It's there. You can do it. You can do what I did and do it on your PlayStation on the big TV in the lounge room and sit down and have a watch of some good old pro wrestling. Absolutely get amongst Mayhem Pro. And again, if you're in the Victoria area and this is, something that you're interested in, this is the direct result of the Relentless School of Pro Wrestling. This is where if you learn at the Relentless School, these are the shows you end up on. Right? So definitely a huge advertisement for them as well. But speaking of advertising, we've got some shows.
Just before we go to that, I do want to just say a few words about Mayhem Pro. I thought that the production of the video itself, with the exception of not having commentators, was fantastic. You can see what the show is. It's obviously not going to have the flash of an MCW or a Renegades, in terms of the venue and a bit of the presentation. There's no shot of entrance videos as people are coming in, but it was so enjoyable. It was so wonderful, and I really well done to JXT and the crew down there, because I think as a show for a lesser company, a slightly lesser company, this was fantastic.
Well, Let's call it what it is. It's NXT for MCW and Renegades. That's what that place is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And he's doing it right. Like they are, as a group, Mayhem Pro are doing it right. They're building they're building their base. They've got a great they've got a great base of young wrestlers that are all coming up together. So it very much reminds me of PCW back in the day with like the Natural Classics and Indie, and you know what I mean? They had that whole base of young people just all coming up together, and they'll all mature at the same time in wrestling. So eventually, like, you'll go to a Mayhem Pro show and you'll be like, holy shit, everyone on this show is great. If they haven't already been moved on to like MCWs and Renegades and stuff like that, and given chances there. But
and it's the same as like we say all the time, right? Is like, get amongst Australian wrestling now, so that in a couple of years' time, when people are exploding, you're the one who can say, oh, I loved their match with this person. I remember their promo with this person. Like, now is the time to be watching Jab, right? Now is the time. Because in a
He's
couple
like-
of years, you're going to say he was great back a few years ago when I was watching those promos with Erica.
Yeah.
And I also would like to just quickly mention again how good Lockie Hendricks was. Lockie is not afraid to look an idiot, but he will always come out on top. And we saw a perfect example of that at this show. Like, by the end of, not an idiot, but he's not afraid to take a loss to get the ultimate win. And he did that on this show. Like, he was, for better or worse, Phil beat the shit out of him, and then he had his hand raised in the main event. It's fantastic. Great character work from Lockie. Really good.
Look, there are a lot of promotions in Melbourne, and some of them look good on posters, but when you go to the show, it's less than.
Yeah.
This is not one of them. This is a very good young promotion with wrestlers that have great bases in knowledge because they're being taught the right way, which is great. Like there are plenty of feds that you'll go to and you'll watch that show and you go, geez, I wasted my $20 there. You would not say that if you go to a relentless a Mayhem Pro show.
Mayhem Pro.
No.
Absolutely.
So, if you're in the area,
not,
go and check them out. If you're not, go on YouTube and find them because they're well worth the watch.
But it was a really good show, Lachlan.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, so again, go check that out on YouTube, Mayhem Pro Relentless Rumble 3. But speaking of shows that are not going to be a waste of your money, if you're up here in Brisbane around February 14th, I believe there's an AEW show on that date. The night before, Friday the 14th of February 2025, is the Pro Wrestling League with Renegades of Wrestling Australian Wrestling Super Show. You need to go to, and I'll confirm this, are they on sale through Oztix?
Yes, they are.
Great.
I double-checked it.
Ringside seats are sold out, right? So this is at the Eatons Hill Hotel, which is a bloody fantastic venue. It's the venue that World Series Wrestling uses. And this is going to be an absolute cracker of a wrestling event. So make sure you get your tickets now because they will sell out. Like, just straight up. This one's going to sell out. Make sure you're there. There is an open invitation for people who want to show up from other companies, certain companies that may be in the area. So, if you want to be in a room with some potentially pretty big names, I would go ahead and get those tickets now. But look, let's talk about what else is coming up around the country in terms of wrestling. Just this weekend, let's talk about in New South Wales, PWA at the Beer Shed is on Saturday, November 23rd, as is Newcastle Pro Wrestling's Rookie Showcase. In Tasmania, you've got Tasmanian Championship Wrestling Breakout on Saturday, November 23rd. And also on that date, if you're over in Western Australia, EPW has their Date with Destiny on Saturday night. Now, if you're in Jeff's neck of the woods, Victoria this weekend has got Saturday, November 23rd, Lucha Fantastica's Day of the Dead Fiesta Castlemaine. And then on Sunday, November 24th, is a big one. Renegades of Wrestling's Indestructible, November 24th at the Northcote Theatre. So far, we've got announced Mitch Waterman versus Emin for the Renegades of Wrestling title. Tyson Reed versus Matty Romano. A Falls Count Anywhere match between the Glow Up and Starlux. You've got the Bastard Brothers, Crackerjack and Gore, taking on Funtime Phil and JXT. You've got Tyson Reed versus Matty Romano, which I have already mentioned, but I'll mention it again because that's going to be a cracker. And you've also got the newly named Kava, Camby. They're together in Team Friendship, taking on tag team champions, The Ambush. So absolutely get amongst that if you're in Victoria. The Northcote Theatre is going to be banging for that one. I like how much you enjoyed that, Todd. Meanwhile,
like for people that don't know, like we've got a run sheet, and I could see Jeff like adding stuff to it, and I'm like, well, that's already been written. Lachlan's going to read that twice.
Yep.
Just waiting for him to run Burgundy's way through
sorry,
it.
Mate. I knew there was one more match, and I was like,
just same match again. Lachlan says it out, and then he's like, I said it again because I'm excited.
I'm Lachlan Albert.
Stop putting question marks in the run sheet. If you're up here in Queensland, though, Saturday, November 23rd, we've also got 2 shows up here on opposite sides of the city. If you're on the southernmost side, Venom Pro Wrestling's got Final Destination 2, which I believe is going to be main evented by Moko defending the VPW Championship against Logan Pierce, the Liability. 2 really good wrestlers up here. Meanwhile, United Pro Wrestling on that same date up on the Sunshine Coast is going to have Clash in the Cage. That one's got the main event of Tommy the Gun Winslow versus Andre Irons in a steel cage, Korea versus Korea. So big shows.
That's
really
the one
big
I think I'll be going. I actually think I'll be going on that one.
Yeah, I don't think I can deny that, especially because
sorry to interrupt. There is one more match on the Renegade show, which is Caveman Ugg versus his name has gone out of my head. Mad Dog versus Mad Dog versus Lockie Hendricks. So, that's going to be pretty ordinary as well.
I think they're going to put that in instead of the second Tyson Reed versus Matt.
It's actually a 2 out of 3 falls match. Like, it's just one fall at the start of the show, another fall in the middle of the show, and then if it has to be, the third fall will be the main event.
Andy Forzaria on Twitch also said, did you mention Tamashi in Brisbane? That was a super random announcement. Yeah, the night after AEW, Red Castle Entertainment, along with New Japan Pro Wrestling, will be presenting Tamashi. So we will see what comes together for that one. But there's more wrestling going on around the country worth mentioning. First off, MCW on the 8th of December, Sunday the 8th, 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, I assume. That's 2 p.m. Australian Daylight Savings Time, actually. I'll double-check that one. But it's Endgame 2024. It's going to be huge. We got Jeff?
It is 2 p.m. It is 2 p.m. It's an afternoon show. So
2 p.m. Daylight or Eastern?
Daylight.
There we go. And it's got a 20-person over-the-top rope battle royale for number 1 contendership for the Inter-Commonwealth title. It's got the Dropouts and Mikey Broderick versus the Midnight 3 in 6-man tag action. It's got Jarvis and Lucky O'Leary wrestling to become an icon. It's got the Sacrament with Edward Dusk versus Ricky South. That one I might actually mention twice because holy shit. It's got MCW women's title on the line with Erica Reed defending against Eugenie. Go Eugenie. And MCW Tag Team Championships on the line in 3 stages of hell with the Icons, Adam Brooks and Rocky Monero, defending against the Pareja, Eli Theseus and Gabriel Eros. Holy cow. And not only that, as Andy Fazaria mentioned in the chat, Buddy Matthews just got announced. He is going to be on that show only a couple of months before AEW takes on Australia. So, look, I don't know if that one's sold out yet. If it's not, then people are insane. Go to that show. If you're not going to that show, what's wrong with you? On the other side of the country, though, EPW on December 14th, it's going to have Reawakening 23 at Willerton Stadium. It's going to have EPW Invitational Finals with CJL versus Hayden Zenith. It's going to have Tyler Jacobs' final fight unsanctioned versus James Hartness. It's going to have a triple threat tag title championship match, DNT versus ATO versus The Pulse. It's going to have finally Damian Slater walking into the pen against Solomon Blackwell, and there's going to be a 4-way for the EPW championship. Marcus Pitt, Taylor King, Jesse Lambert, Radmaker Kingston. What more can you ask for a wrestling show?
One thing. We can ask for one thing. EPW not to put on shows that make the rest of us feel inadequate. Yeah. That is incredible. Like, that is a dream show anywhere. Like, some of those names are just fantastic. And it's so good to see this. And it's going to be a great reawakening. Get into it.
That card has 5 matches and 5 solid picks for what could be match of the night. Genuinely.
Yeah.
It's busted. There's a couple of other shows coming up in Australia. OPW, if you haven't heard, the Australia versus India showcase has been moved to the Thornbury Theatre on December 22nd. If you've got tickets for the Ballarat show, you're going to get full refunds for that. And tickets for the Thornbury Theatre show are on sale now. Andy Fazari, a great point, suggests we need to
plenty of them available
closer to the East Coast. What was that, Toddy?
I said there are plenty of them available. So get
yes,
around it.
there are. You can also head to World Series Wrestling in many capital cities. Hey, if you're in Adelaide, you've done a nice job selling out 69% of the building, but
it might have moved up since then, but I'm just going to leave that.
Yeah, that one can stay. Melbourne's at 86%, Sydney's at 96%, Brisbane is standing room only for tickets at worldserieswrestling.com.au. Those are selling like hotcakes, so if you want to go, get in now, especially because they've got a lineup featuring Matt Cardona, Ash by Elegance, Danhausen, Raj Desi, the former Jinder Mahal, Matt Riddle, Nick Nemeth, Shigehiro Irie, the Bollywood Boys, Santana Garrett, Lena Cross, Sydney Akeem, Jess Troy on the entire Aussie tour. Yes! Like, get around it. Also, in Brisbane, this guy's going to be on commentary, so come catch me in that. Is there just too much Aussie wrestling now?
No.
I've heard a couple of the matches that I know a couple of our boys might be in on that show, and it's going to be good.
Oh, cannot
Is there
wait.
too much Aussie wrestling right now? Not if it's good
we're
quality.
We're a big country. We're a big country.
We're a big country, and we got a lot of Aussie wrestling. And so, look, we've spent the first half of this show just covering what's going on in Australia. If you want to keep up, I think you've got to be following Wrestle Radio Australia. We're on Facebook. We're on X/Twitter. We're on Instagram. You can follow us at Wrestle Radio AU, or you can go to Facebook and just search for Wrestle Radio Australia, or you can go to WrestleRadioAustralia.com to get the links there. Jeff?
And if you want to cover yourself in something, cover yourself in a Wrestle Radio Australia t-shirt, just like Lachlan is doing now. Wrestle Radio Australia t-shirts. Go to Redbubble and pick one up today.
Can you tell Jeff's been hosting for the last couple of weeks?
He needed that segue. He needed to
He
get
really
a segue.
did. He needed to get one off. He was just like, oh, I need a segue. I need a segue bad.
Well, look, we're going to segue through to our ad break, and we'll be back with what's been going on around the world of wrestling right after this.
Okay, we have got some stuff from Renegades and some stuff from MCW. So we'll be back in about 7 minutes. So as for Jeff, when the ad plays for the Super Show, that's when we come back straight after.
That's when I put Mr. Vape down.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He got caught the other. I don't know if you know, Lachlan. He got caught the other show.
About three
So
shows.
Naughty boy.
Yeah, he was just sitting there like that, and he's like, I didn't know. I was like, it's always the Super Show. It's always the Super Show. So anyway, we'll be back right after this, guys.
The future of Australian wrestling is standing right here in front of you.
We have a new Renegades of Wrestling champion, Em and Asman. Ambush have got all the gold.
The Ambush run this game.
The Ambush run this place now. Whoa. Right. Mitch Waterman is at Renegades of Wrestling.
Ambush! You guys think you're a pack of tigers hunting your prey. Unfortunately for you, a big game hunter just walked in the building. Because this is the new era! And one by one, I'm going to hunt you down until Emin, I'm coming for my main prize. Emin, time's up. On November 24th at the Northgate Theatre, Emin Asman versus Mitch Waterman for the Renegades of Wrestling World Championship.
You want this so bad? You want a shot at the Renegades of Wrestling World Champion? The Ambush accepts. What? Don't you worry. I've got a plan.
Levi Nixon accepted on behalf of Emin Asman.
arguing in the background as Waterman and Emin are face to face. And he is now all about the match with Mitch.
G'day, mate.
Hello.
Thank you very much for coming here. Just wanted to let you know I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of us, you know?
You know what, Canby? I'm so proud of you too. I still can't believe it. Our first time team together, and we got the win, and I won with the Cavalock.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And now we have a title shot, and tag teams with title shots are legitimate tag teams, and legitimate tag teams have team names.
All right, I get you. What you got for me?
I thought you'd never ask. See, this book is full of all these delicious, juicy, gorgeous tag team names, and I thought I'd get your thoughts on them.
All right, go. Give me one.
All right, number 1, Demolition.
No, Canby, seriously? Who would call themselves Demolition?
Well, Demolition.
You mean it's already taken?
Well, yeah, but they're not wrestling anymore.
Oh, come on, Canby. Look, we've got some stuff to do. Let's get going. You can tell me more later, all right?
All right, let's
All
go.
right.
What about the Dudley Boys?
No.
Hardy Boys?
No.
Edge and Christian?
Absolutely not.
Supply and Demand?
No.
Oh, the Bubbly Boys. It's like Dudley. How about Ghost Mutt?
Definitely not.
Okay. What about Muriel's Wedding?
That's terrible, no.
The Basement Jacks?
Isn't that a band?
Nah. Blow Up.
No.
Did I say Demolition already?
Yes, 3 times.
All right. Hardy Boys?
Yes, 4 times.
All right. Captain Underpants, eh? Ooh. What about Captain and Corporal Underpants, eh?
No. Let's go. Hold these. Come on.
These aren't my size, mate. Itchy and scratchy.
No.
Big and chunky.
I don't think so.
Spice Girls.
No!
What about 4 Horsemen?
There's 2 of us.
You're right. 3 Horsemen.
You're on it, right? Jump on.
But
I hate them all. None of them capture the one quality that separates us from any other team. Friendship.
You've done it!
What?
You've done it! Team friendship!
Team friendship.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it too.
It's good.
Let's hug on it.
All right. I told you no hugs yet. Handshakes only.
All right.
Until we get the titles.
All right, let's go get that gold.
All right.
Hit it!
Let's go. Buckle up.
No.
Safety first.
Safety second. Right.
Kick off your AEW Grand Slam weekend the right way with an unforgettable night of wrestling action at the iconic Eden's Hill Hotel in Brisbane on Friday, February the 14th, as Pro Wrestling League and Renegades of Wrestling present the Australian Wrestling Super Show. With an open door policy, expect the unexpected. You never know who might appear to shake things up. Whether you're a long-time fan or new to the Australian wrestling scene, this is the perfect way to start your weekend off with a bang. Get your tickets now from oztix.com.au and don't miss this incredible night of Australian wrestling action.
Welcome back to Making Chicken Salad, the Wrestle Radio Australia show where we talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling, and boy, it's been going on around the world of wrestling. Let's talk about WWE. Friday's SmackDown saw Shinsuke Nakamura make his WWE TV return by attacking LA Knight, who just successfully defended the US title against Berto in an open challenge. Nakamura had a new look. He was wearing all black with red face paint as he laid out Knight with the Kinshasa, and it ended with Nakamura walking away with his hair covering his face. Jeff, do you like this new look for Nakamura?
I like everything about Nakamura. I'm just glad he's back on the TV. Fantastic. Just terrific to see him. And I think he's going to give LA Knight a bit more legitimacy in ring.
Absolutely, Todd.
Well, we're heading into winter, so
great. Sorry.
We're heading into winter. There's no more surfing, so he can get back to work. So it's great.
Yeah, that's right. We've got a tournament for the Women's United States Championship. Bayley has defeated Candice LeRae and B-Fab, who apparently still works there. I recently found out.
That was a really good match.
It was.
It was actually a really good match, and B-Fab was really good in it.
She was fantastic in it.
You can still see she's a bit green, and she needed some walking through, but she was great.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bayley is our first semi-finalist. She's going to be up against the winner of the triple threat between Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, and Blair Davenport. On the other side of the tournament, we've got a qualifier between Jade Cargill, Michin, and Piper Niven, as well as a triple threat qualifier with Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Elektra Lopez. Let's get some calls. Who do we think is going to be the first Women's United States champion, Jeff?
Chelsea Green! It's got to be. Surely it's time for Chelsea to win a belt.
Todd?
Did you mention that the finals are going to be on that Saturday night's main event?
They are going to be on Saturday night's main event. I didn't mention that.
So that's all right. I don't know if they're going to do Bianca and Jade in the finals.
That's the only thing that's unquestionable. Surely you say Mania.
You would think. But, like, if they want Saturday night's main event to be something big, why wouldn't they do something like that? Like, I can understand, like, Chelsea Green and like, if you really wanted to do it, maybe you get Chelsea Green and, like, Michin to be in the finals.
Yeah.
Because that sort of pays off there.
That makes sense, but I got to agree with Jamie from Pario Magazine, who said if it's not Chelsea, they've cooked it, and they have. I think they're going to give it to Chelsea. Like, her performance.
I think it goes to Bayley first to give it some legitimacy, and that also cements Bayley as, you know, the woman who's held every title, which I think is important to, you know, have that as something Bayley has achieved that maybe some other horsewomen who aren't as attached to WWE at the moment haven't achieved. That puts Bayley in a class of her own. And then when Chelsea Green takes it off her, you know, now we've got some more stakes on that title, right?
No, I still think it's going to be Chelsea.
All right, that's so fair. We're saying what? Bayley and Chelsea in the semis on like one side.
Yep.
And what? Who do you reckon on the other side? Because the other side of the bracket is Jade, Michin, and Piper Niven, and also Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Elektra Lopez. So who do you think?
They could also put Tiffany against Chelsea in the final, because that'll be so fun. And don't forget, this is also about introducing new people to a title scene. Purposes of a mid-card title, just get people ready for the main event. Bayley's main event already. She'll give the rub to somebody.
I think you have Tiffany from that one match, and from the other match, it's really hard to call. I think you go Tiffany Stratton versus Jade, because you pick a babyface from that side, you put some more spotlight on Jade, and you have Tiffany repeatedly use Nia Jax to get through, so that when Bayley beats Tiffany with Nia on the outside, it's, you know, pays off a little bit of the feud that Bayley had there by getting a win.
But do you beat Tiffany again?
You don't. You...
Yes. She's got money in the bank.
That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk.
That's crazy talk.
Okay, well, you said Chelsea's going to win it, so Chelsea's going to beat Tiffany.
Yes. In the end, Chelsea beats Tiffany.
Okay, all right. Look, let's talk about the lineup up to this point. WWE Survivor Series War Games, which is going to be on Saturday, November 30th in Vancouver. War Games!
That's not bad.
The one straight up and down match we've got so far is a World Heavyweight title with Gunther defending against Damian Priest in what should be a banger. And then we've got 2 War Games matches set up. The Women's War Games match is going to have Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. On top of that, we got the Men's War Game match with the OG Bloodline. That's Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Jimmy Uso, and a to-be-announced competitor, which is being strongly hinted at being a reluctant Seth Rollins, versus the new Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Bronson Reed. And then according to this, we've also got Tyson Reed versus Matty Romano. So that's
that's good stuff.
I love when stuff's funny. I think that, look, so far, I think we probably get one more match added to this card. I think with 2 War Games matches, that'll take up a lot of time. But I do think that they lean closer to a 5-match card than a 3-match card.
I think maybe we get like Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and what's his name?
Ludwig. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe what we get.
It'd be a great match. Yeah. Alex Fireheart says, if WWE are allowing blood again now in very specific circumstances, one of those War Games matches would be nice to have some blood in it. We'll see.
Do you think that we also get maybe Cody and Kevin?
Yeah.
Or do we hold that off till Saturday night's main event?
I don't. I'd hold it. I know they're doing a promo this week on SmackDown, so SmackDown will have a bit of a promo.
Also, didn't they have a WrestleMania match that was definitely the last time the two of them would ever face off forever for certain?
Cody and Kevin Owens.
Yeah. Wasn't that like one of their things? Was like, this is the final time?
When has Cody and Kevin ever worked at WrestleMania together, mate?
Yeah, I've never.
Maybe it wasn't a mania. Maybe I'm making this up in my head. I was sure they had a match where it's like, this is the last time they'll face off.
I think you
Maybe
are. I don't think they've wrestled each other much at all.
Put down Jeff's vape. Put down Jeff's vape.
Buddy Matthews is coming back to Australia in the lead-in to Grand Slam Brisbane. He's going to be at MCW. They've announced him for December 8th. It's a little more than 2 months away from Grand Slam Australia. We mentioned it before, but it's worth mentioning again because that is huge. We've also got Ricky Starks making his debut for House of Glory on Friday, January 17th in Chicago. It's a show that's going to stream live on Triller. His opponent wasn't named. He hasn't been in an AEW ring since March. He said publicly that he's healthy and has, quote, no clue as to why he isn't being used, turning down the narrative that he turned down creative pitches. As recently as August, AEW head Tony Khan was complimentary about Starks, but didn't provide any details as to why he hasn't been used. Do we think Ricky Starks is off the AEW docket in the near future? Todd?
I would have to imagine if he is completely healthy and you're not using him, then I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't use him, like unless you know for sure that he's leaving. Do you know what I mean? I don't get it.
It's a very strange decision. I'm just checking one thing.
It's like Danhausen. They had Danhausen under contract and they didn't bring him in for Halloween.
No. It was the same thing with Daniel Garcia a couple of months ago. He couldn't get on the show for love nor money. And he's fighting Jack Perry at their next pay-per-view.
You think that's because he hasn't confirmed, or he hasn't signed an extension, so they're just not going to put him on just in case?
Maybe. I mean, he'd be a great fit in WWE.
But not to be on since March. Like April, May, June, July, August, September, October. That's 7 months, 8 months without being on TV.
Mm.
For someone like Ricky Starks. So, like, you know what I mean? It's not Colt Cabana. It's fucking Ricky Starks. It's a dude that has a future.
Yeah.
You know. But the important thing is WrestleMania 37 was when we got Owens versus Zayn. Zayn had... Yeah. Owens and Sami
We're
Zayn.
talking Rhodes.
We're talking Cody Rhodes.
Oh, I'm losing my mind.
Oh my god.
Do you know my vape's gone missing in the last few minutes?
Holy shit.
Why do they even have me on this show?
I'm starting to wonder that myself.
Have who on the show? My
maybe
screen
I
just
should...
went blank.
But yes, you're
Do I need
right.
to-
That was the last time Owens and were going to have a fight. It wasn't WrestleMania because they tagged at that WrestleMania.
No, but it was supposed to be the last time they would fight each other, right?
Oh, okay. But not Cody Rhodes.
Right, and like it looks like because we've got the Owens heel turn and he could be on the other side. So like there was logic to what I was saying, kind of.
No.
Not really.
No.
I need to retire,
By the way,
honestly. Like
by the
Tony
way,
Storm, who is now claiming that she's retiring
Speaking
and
of
leaving
being
pro
forgetful,
wrestling.
Lachlan, just let me talk for a second. Speaking of being forgetful, Sammy Anderson, Levi Nixon also on at Renegades this weekend. That's a tag team, Fractured. Do not miss that show. It's going to be great.
Is that with Romano and Reed? Or are they replacing them?
I don't
or
know
are
that
they-
match at all.
Oh, okay.
It's on the
they
same
were
show as Tyson
also-
Reed and Matty Romano, of course.
I think they were also going to have a third match between Tyson Reed and Matty Romano on the show, and they may have cut that one.
It's been moved to War Games. It's too big.
Andy Fazario said, "Yeah, you should scrap that whole bit off the podcast. That was the worst the show has ever been." See, that's very good idea, but I don't edit.
That's also very generous to the show to say that was the worst it's ever been.
Oh my god!
Tony
Those weeks where
Storm.
it was just me and Lachlan.
Yeah.
Gosh,
You
Bro,
never
did you watch
never
that
heard
10-hour
my
live stream? It had some dips.
you never heard my interview 9 years ago with Kellyanne.
Tony Storm is now claiming she's retiring and leaving pro wrestling. Quote, "I'm not used to being a loser," Storm told James of SB Nation. "I've failed at everything. I lost in AEW, I lost in Japan, I lost in Mexico. This is the last you'll hear from me again. Enjoy Mariah May as your champion. You can all enjoy that. AEW is just fine without me. Everything is going well for AEW. They don't need Tony Storm." Storm said she had no plans to make another public appearance. She closed by stating, "Chin down, tits in, don't bother watching for the shoe." There is no way that this is an actual retirement. This is
which confirms her showing up at Full Gear.
yeah, the most confirmation you can possibly get that she will be on Full Gear for what is announced as a champagne celebration with Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa. Because surely that will have no other wrestlers showing up. A champagne celebration? That'll go off without a hitch. Let's talk about what else is on the card for Full Gear. Saturday, November 23rd in Newark, New Jersey. There's a four-way match for the AEW Tag Team titles. Private Party are going to defend against the House of Black, a team to be determined, and a team definitely worthy of the AEW Tag Team titles, the Outrunners. We're really on top of our game here at the moment. MJF is going to take on Roderick Strong, who was the first to get 3 wins between him and Adam Cole. Surely Adam Cole will have no further involvement. Bobby Lashley versus Swerve Strickland is on the card, as is Jay White versus Hangman Page. We've got Kyle Fletcher taking on Will Ospreay after he has left United Empire. TNT champion Jack Perry is going to defend against Daniel Garcia. TBS champion Mercedes Moné will defend against Chris Statlander. And the AEW world champion Jon Moxley is going to defend against Orange Cassidy. But the bit we are all chomping at the bit for is on the 0 hour. That's right, Costco guy Big Boom AJ is going to take on QT Marshall. And it is official. The Rizzler will be in the building to ring the bell as QT Marshall is defeated by Big Boom AJ. That was confirmed within the last 24 hours. So that is breaking news on the Rizzler front.
I can't believe AEW are actually going to have me cheering for QT Marshall. I can't believe that's a thing that's going to happen in 2024.
But Todd, they're Costco guys.
Yeah, I get it. They bring the boom.
Yeah, they bring the boom.
Chocolate John Cookie. I mean, fucking.
I'm reliably informed they bring the boom.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
Please do.
Fuck a Costco, guys. What? Yeah, exactly. Pyro Magazine just wrote, what do all these words even mean?
Yeah.
Jamie, 1000%, mate. What do they mean?
I'm not on the TikToks, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing I know about him is by looking at, like, on stuff through YouTube. Like, they've been on Barstool Sports. They've been all these other places doing their boom thing. And
so the gist is that this guy and his son were at Costco and made a TikTok that was clearly meant to be like engagement bait, but was very, very bad. And the result was that people thought it was hilarious and kept sharing it. So they made more. Eventually they involved this kid called the Rizzler, who's a chunky kid whose gimmick is that the ladies love him. And he does this. If you're
gets me
listening
that-
to the
that he's
audio
like-
version, it was poison.
yeah. Thing that gets me that is like a tad creepy, right? Is that Rizzler is not related to them at all.
The Rizzler's unrelated. He's just another child.
So this like AJ, this adult has gone up to this kid's parents going, hey, we want to take your kid and put him on TikTok because he does this.
Yeah.
And he's like, and they've gone, yeah, cool. Yep.
Yeah, Andy Forzaria in the chat says, I know less now than I did 2 minutes ago.
Have you ever regretted asking a question?
It is worth noting that AJ is a former pro wrestler, like very indie, low level.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's in good shape too, so he's not like it's...
And he'll be able to be carried then. That means he'll be able to be carried. Which is kind of good.
But thank God it's on the pre-show.
And he's in with a good pair of hands as well. Like, he's not in with someone who's going to be dangerous or is green. No, Marshall has
I kind of hope QT is a little dangerous, to be honest with you. Just an accidental throat punch would be great.
I do want to mention this because it's one of my favorite things about this whole thing. The kid's real name, the son, the actual son, his real name is Eric, but they call them AJ and Big Justice. That's the kid's name. He's Big Justice. Yeah. Do you want to guess what AJ's ring name was back in the day?
Hey, did you know Wrestle Kingdom's on really soon? Why don't we talk about
No, let him go.
Was his wrestling name.
So he called his kid's nickname is named after his wrestling name.
Yep.
All right. He brings the boom.
He brings the boom. Let's talk about some good wrestling. Over in New Japan, there's going to be this thing called Wrestle Kingdom 19. It's going to happen on an unprecedented date, January 4th. Here's what we've got so far for that show. Don't go rizzling me, Todd. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions Kushida and Kevin Knight are going to defend their titles in a four-way match with Andy Forzaria pops in. Nope, this is the worst the show has ever been. Fair play. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Champions Kushida and Kevin Knight defending against TJP and Francisco Akira, Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney, and Ichiban Sweet Boys, Robbie Eagles, and Kosei Fujita. We've also got the New Japan Pro Wrestling World TV Champion Ren Narita defending against Jeff Cobb and Ryohei Oiwa in a three-way match. There's an IWGP...
That's how you say his name.
Yeah.
Jeff was having a hard time last week with it.
Championship match with Dalki versus El Desperado. There's an IWGP Global Championship match with David Finlay defending against Yota Tsuji. There's Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Evil. And for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Zack Sabre Jr. will defend against Shota Umino.
I would have just popped.
What have I walked into? Do I want to know?
I would have popped huge if you'd like on purpose mispronounced Zack Saber's name.
Yeah.
I would have popped huge for it.
This is one hell of a show. Like,
it's a show, all right.
Wrestle Kingdom never disappoints. Just a big kitchen. Actually, we'll talk about Wrestle Kingdom later in the year. Go ahead, Bob.
Right. Well, I'm going to talk about the night after Wrestle Kingdom, which is Wrestle Dynasty on Sunday, January 5th. We've got an International Women's Cup four-way match. We've got Tomohiro Ishii challenging either Shingo Takagi or Konosuke Takeshita for the Never Openweight Championship. That's going to be a double title match with the AEW International Championship also on the line if Takeshita is still champion by that time. We're going to have Jack Perry versus Yota Tsuji, and Zack Sabre Jr. will take on Ricochet. And if Zack Sabre Jr. is still the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion at that point, that will be for that championship. We've also potentially, injury permitting, got a match between Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd. What are we thinking of the doubleheader New Japan lineup for 2025, Jeff?
Oh, it's great. I mean, New Japan shows never, ever disappoint. The only thing I'm going to say about this year's Wrestle Kingdom is there's no, so for me, to quote you boys, there's no real hook match yet.
No, because he works for AEW.
We've probably got one. Thanks, Todd. There you go, Lachlan. That's a shout out to you. We've probably got one or two more matches to be announced that I imagine will really suck me in. But top to bottom, that's pretty good. Bit disappointed that Sonata's joined Bullet Club, but
Well, that's gonna be what it's gonna be,
We'll probably have
dogs.
We'll probably have Sonata in something.
Just how many guys are there now?
Just four.
Just four guys? It doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?
No. But at least he brought back the sexy blonde hair.
I do like the sexy blonde. Not sticking it straight up, though, which, I like an anime character now and again.
Not sticking it straight up, but then also not doing the impact look, because that wasn't a good look.
No,
the Sonata impact was not a good look.
It was what we call in the business chicken shit. And that's what this show's all about, chicken salad and chicken shit. We're going to talk about what we liked and what we didn't like from the last week of wrestling. Andy Forzaria says Sonata is so gorgeous with his dark hair. Let's kick it off with Jeff. Jeff, what was shit this week?
I had one, and it has temporarily... Oh, yeah.
It was
really,
Todd's.
really
good. I can't remember.
Really, really good to see. Sorry, I'm on your brain link now, Todd. Really good to see Chad Gable back. He's fantastic. Are you shitting me? He's fantastic. American Made are a great team. Don't make them lose every time. I'm really concerned about it because I don't think they've actually won a match that's counted or a match that hasn't really counted since they've come back. And that's a concern. Just because, they're around for a reason, and let's make them a force. Team Angle was always a force, and they've got four great wrestlers. Let them wrestle.
Yeah. Todd?
Look, I think this is a potential chicken shit. You've got a guy in Kenny Omega who's been out for... how long has he been out for?
Months.
Almost a year. Almost a year.
And potentially his first match back won't even be for AEW. It'll be for New Japan Pro. I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. Why wouldn't you make... for someone who was supposed to be one of your marquee guys, coming back from an injury, you think you'd have that on your TV, wouldn't you?
You'd think.
So, anyway.
Andy Forzaria says, speaking of shows without a hook, Full Gear has so little to get excited about. I'm not sure Ospreay versus Fletcher is enough to sell the show for me. Yeah, I kind of agree there. It feels bad to me when I go back to this well for chicken shit because I've done it so... Paria Magazine says if it's January 5, it's technically a co-promoted show. Is it really? It's in Japan.
Jamie, I love you. I love you with all my heart. But people that say technically, I want to cave their face in.
So I feel like
Todd's match in Queensland, everybody. You heard it here first.
I've gone to this well so many times that it feels, like redundant. But sometimes when there's water in the well, you've got to drink it in, man. So the fact that Chris Jericho is taking on Tomohiro Ishii for the Ring of Honor World title, and I've got to watch that during Dynamite, as Jericho, once again, wears the brightest thing he can and just bores the shit out of me. I can't do it anymore, guys. I'm fast-forwarding it. I'm not watching it.
Have they put the belt on him because they have TV lined up for Ring of Honor, and that's why they're doing it? Or
I have no idea, because they keep putting it on AEW.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, let's be more positive then. Todd?
Yes.
Chicken salad.
Yes. Look, there have been a few. I want to point out one that is it's up online now, and I encourage you to go and chase it down if you get the chance. It's Seth Tyler's and Davis Storm, a QWA Halloween Hardcore. I think it's called Hardcore Halloween. I can't remember what the show is. Yeah, there you go. Please do go and chase that down and watch it, because great match. I love Seth as a worker. I think he's great, and we all know what everyone thinks of Davis Storm. So if you want to go and see someone who doesn't get their just due, like in a really good match, please go and chase that down. Also,
Seth Tyler's so underrated. Underrated.
We talked about it before, like during the review of Mayhem Pro. Fun Time Phil promo. Absolutely. There's been a lot of promos this week that I've absolutely loved. I love that promo. I love the in-ring promo from Jab. I also loved the promo that the Wyatts did this week. Like Bo Dallas just like channeled his brother.
Yeah.
For a couple of minutes there, and like frighteningly almost. So I really, really enjoyed that. I also enjoyed Mrs. promo. Like the fact that he was so deluded to think that maybe the Marine 7 would be Quentin Tarantino's last movie he directs. I love that shit. It's so deluded that it's great. I'm actually looking forward to Full Gear, because like we always say, the matches are always going to be good. Yeah. Like we can't. I'm really interested to see this Ospreay and Fletcher match, mainly because I want to see if Davis turns or if he stays with Will Ospreay. I have this real feeling that Davis is turning. I just don't know why. Just an inkling I have. But we'll find out, I guess. I have no inside information, just so you know.
The idea of
straight
seeing
up, I have no inside
Davis
information.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Big scary man.
Yes. So that's. I have a few. I had a few this week.
Firstly, Todd mentioned a promo. I want to mention a great promo. We saw it in the break. It is the team friendship promo of Camby and Cava, because it is so funny. It really is. They're trying to find a team name. Camby just unearths every group you can think of, short of saying, "Oh, we're the Partridge Family." It was just really
What about
fun.
Ghost Mutt?
Ghost Mutt.
How about
so
Demolition?
Good. So funny. Look,
Who would call themselves Demolition? Demolition did.
Yeah, and if we get more of Camby and Cava together and a promo at this level, I'm all in on it. Whether they win or not on Sunday, this is a fun team, and the crowds are almost certainly going to respond in the right way. Really, really happy with that. But one thing I want to shout out this week is this week's SmackDown was excellent. It was one of the best SmackDowns I've seen in a long, long time. The matches were great. The promos were great, and ending it with Roman just going, "Call the wise man."
Yeah.
Pop was huge. And then the ending, if you haven't seen it, it's a disconnected number. And then just the look of shock.
Yeah, because Solo broke his phone. He hasn't had time to get a new phone. He's been very busy for 4 months.
I also want to shout out one more thing. I quite like Wrestling with Regret. And today, he released a look at World War III. I think it was 1995, the first ever World War III, that was requested, strangely enough, by an Alex Fireheart. Alex, are you two timing us with Brian Zane, or are we the ones you're cheating on? I don't know. But is that you, Alex, that asked for that review? Because it is up now. That was a nice little chicken salad.
Lovely. I've got a couple. First, I want to shout out an upcoming match that I think I'll just be able to watch an endless number of times, which is Tyson Reed versus Matty Romano. I think if 4 times in one night, maybe 5, I'd be fine with it. It is, in fact, me, says Alex Fireheart. Let's jump on Alex Fireheart's chicken salad as well. They said, haven't seen the match yet, but the fact that Akitoshi Saito made it to his retirement match okay and finished the match without issue is great. Given the guy almost retired after Masawa died, it's nice to know he kept going for another 15 years before calling it a career. There's more to why that's significant, but I'd be here all day. Yeah, and seeing him come out, classic tights, like, so good. Such wonderful stuff. I want to start by shouting out something that's tangentially wrestling related, which I haven't had a chance to mention yet. I've been playing more of the Like a Dragon / Yakuza series. I'm finally up to the 7th one where Ichiban becomes the protagonist. But in the upcoming game, which is called, and this is not a joke, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, where you play as Goro Majima, but a pirate. You're going to be exploring lots of things, and you're going to have to face down the Pirate King, who is in fact Samoa Joe.
Amazing.
Fully scanned in, voiced by, it's Samoa Joe.
Well, hasn't that series had like New Japan wrestlers all through it?
Yep. Yeah, so the 6th, Andy Forzaria says, has Lachlan lost his mind tonight? Yes, I have. In the 6th
you have to have it to lose it.
There's a whole like real-time strategy side quest, which has 6 New Japan wrestlers that you have to face off, and like Okada is the final boss, and his former best friend Tanahashi is the guy who you like get just before you get to him. It's really cool. And then I think Yakuza Kiwami 2 had a bunch of like legendary Japanese wrestlers in it.
Yep.
So like lots of connections there. A really cool series.
There is a reason why every WrestleBrania PAX ever has a joke about Yakuza, because it is my favorite game series. And I did not know that about Pirate because I've been avoiding some spoilers.
I'm sorry if that was a spoiler for you, but it
That's
appears the main
fucking great.
villain is Samoa Joe.
You are fine. I cannot wait to play it. Simple.
And I also want to shout out a match that got announced for GCW Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 12. We know who Josh Barnett's going to be facing, and it is in fact MVP, which I think is going to absolutely rock.
Which is an amazing comeback considering he's still got a walking stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he'll be fine.
I can't wait to see that. And I can't wait to see all of you guys next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. Australian Daylight Savings Time. Andy Fazaria, by the way, says chicken salad. People need to go out of their way to seek out Harley Cameron's stuff. She's hilarious. Definitely heard her being very funny when she was here for World Series Wrestling. So can't deny that. Look, get amongst our stuff. We're here every Thursday night at twitch.tv/WrestleRadio Australia. You can follow us on... Where can you follow us on? You can follow us on...
Everywhere, brother.
Everywhere?
Everywhere but Blue Sky.
Australia.
We haven't hit Blue Sky yet.
We'll hit Blue Sky.
We will, because I'm on there now.
You can go to @WrestleRadio AU on X the Everything app /Twitter and on Instagram. Wrestle Radio Australia on Facebook. If you want each of us individually, Todd Eastman's @Beast Eastman. I am @Lachlan Albert. Jeff is @Jeff_Seti. But Jeff's also
No, he's not.
No. I have left Elon Musk's House of Carney bullshit.
Yeah. I'm saying when you get Blue Sky, that'll be it, I'm sure.
I'm on Blue Sky, though.
@Wrestle_Brainia. What's that about, Jeff?
WrestleBrania, the comedy game show, panel show, amazing show, is going to Adelaide for the first time. Yes, we are. We're going to be in Adelaide for the Adelaide Fringe Festival around mid-March. We look forward to seeing you all there. We want to do it with you guys in the room. Can't wait till you get there. We are also back for the comedy festival. So I am going to have a really busy time running a bunch of shows. We're back for the comedy festival while I'm moving house, by the way. I got a new place to stay. It's a whole thing. So come along to that as well. Tickets will be on sale for both of those very, very, very soon.
Excellent. Look, if you want to buy some merch, check out how good it's so comfortable. This shirt is so nice and comfy. So you can go to Redbubble and just search for Wrestle Radio Australia, and you can get our merch there, and the money doesn't go to us. It goes to Beyond Blue and Gotcha for Life, 2 awesome charities supporting mental health here in Australia. By the way, make sure you subscribe. Wherever you subscribe to podcasts, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast Addict, wherever you get your podcasts, go to Wrestle Radio Australia, hit subscribe. It's free. It gets you notified every time we do a new one of these. Also, if you're on Apple Podcasts, if you could give us 5 stars, it makes a huge difference into getting us to more listeners. If you missed any of that stuff, just go to WrestleRadioAustralia.com. You'll be able to find it all there. Is there anything else we need to mention, boys?
Yeah, I just want to mention there's a match this Sunday at Renegades.
Oh, yeah?
Matty Romano against Tyson.
Oh, and Tyson Reed, yeah!
Yeah, that's it, lot. That's it. It's going to be great.
They're going to actually start thinking you're taking the piss out of them.
I'm not at all.
Eventually, what's going to happen here?
Genuinely will be a good match.
Before you go there, head down into Thornbury for lunch. It's about 400 meters away from the venue. 1-800 Lasagna. It's great lasagna. I was there myself on Sunday. Delightful. Wonderful. I had a corner piece. It's brilliant.
Love the lasagna. Hate you. Okay.
Yeah. Really, genuinely, Jeff. So look.
Hang on before you go. This weekend, sometime during this weekend, we'll probably put up the interviews that Lachlan did with Darby Allin and Kyle Fletcher separately on our YouTube channel, so you can go and check those out if you didn't want to listen to the double interviews together. They'll be put up separately on there. Also, I might jump on sometime during the weekend and do a little bit of a watch along or something or other. I'm not too sure. I might do, I might not do, but keep your eyes peeled. Who knows?
Yeah, but by the way, if you aren't subscribed to Wrestle Radio Australia, you missed out on me interviewing Darby Allin and Kyle Fletcher. Like, be subscribed because, holy cow, I interviewed Darby Allin and Kyle Fletcher. So cool, mind-blowing moment. So make sure you subscribe to Wrestle Radio Australia to get all that stuff. Well, with that, on behalf of the man Jeff Setti and the man Todd Eastman, I have been Lachlan Albert. Till next time, have a good one.
Matty Romano versus Tyson Reed.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of